Hi everyone, today Yuling and I would like to share a topic about the job hunting predicament of Chinese female students in Sydney. This video works for the coursework of LNGS 7006 course. In Sydney, there is a group of special dream chasers, Chinese female international students. We survived countless late nights holding 485 work visas, eager to make a career in this land. But the reality is cruel. Data shows that the employment rate of international students is much lower than that of Australian local students. And the employment rate of female international students is also lower than that of male international students. And the weakness of speech expression is one of the core dilemmas that we face. From Mahboob's perspective, the global labor market is a colonial 3.0 game. The high requirements of the Australian workplace for English fluency and cultural integration are essentially to use the social symbol system to screen and exclude these sub-colonial groups. Why do Chinese female international students become marginal people of speech in the workplace? How does the power system hiding behind it after our job expression, communication, and appeal step by step? Let's have a talk about this topic today. This marginalization is not accidental, but constructed by the dual conditions of material and symbol. The first is the hard constraint of material condition, visa restrictions. 485 work visa duration, full-time work requirements force them to dare not take the initiative to talk about salary or rights and interests when looking for a job. The second, Australian job search channels are localized. Seek, LinkedIn, mailing promoted. International students lack information channels and have no rights to speak when communicating. The number 3, academics and job search time conflict. And there is no energy to participate in job search, socialization, and practice workplace expression. The number 4, lack of local internship experience in Australia. Expressing their own ability when looking for a job is easily ignored. For example, in an all-white conference room, space pressure, the speed of speech due to tension, heartbeat, and even the examiner's eyes. These are constraints at the material biological level. The second is social conditions. Soft constraint of power construction. So for the first one, stereotypes of Asian women in the Australian workplace, such as poor English, weak communication, low stress resistance, lack of team spirit, resulting in international students being labeled when looking for a job. And the words are present as worthless. The second, Australian job hunting Western table usually emphasizes self-confidence and publicity, conflicts with Chinese women's introverted expression culture, and the expression habits of international students are denied. Moreover, the double suppression of gender plus race in the workplace, women's demands are easily ignored, and Asian identity exacerbates the marginalization of speech. The good communication is the interview's mouth is actually a simple trap. If you don't have that kind of confident and even aggressive Western expression, even if you got a perfect score in IELTS, you may be judged as incompetent. So compared with job hunting in China, the difference is obvious. In China, women's job search mainly faces gender constraints. But in Australia, we face the triple suppression of gender, race, and cross-cultural. Mahboob promotes Boli, the living language with mother tongue Western. But in the Sydney workplace, our rich Boli has been simplified into IELTS scores on resumes. This kind of decontextive evaluation is a kind of social symbol violence. It seems to be pluralistic and inclusive, but in fact, there is profound speech hegemony. So for our core analyze, Australians' multicultural system is inclusive on the surface, but in fact, there is racial or gender discourse hegemony, where the local job search context in China has no racial constraints, and there is only a gender-level discourse weakness. The two institutional structures directly lead to the different marginality of women's job search discourse.
I have a 485 temporary visa, and if I don't find a job soon, I won't be able to afford my basic clinic expenses. And honestly, I feel like I'm in no position to negotiate. Just having a company that willing to give me an offer feels like a blessing. The meaning of communication in job seeking can be understood across 3 dimensions: language, body, and interactional space. At the linguistic level, features such as hesitation, slower speech, or simplified sentence structures may be interpreted as a lack of competence, even when they are simply part of cross-linguistic communication. At the level of the body, posture and tone also carry meaning. Behaviors considered appropriate in one context may be interpreted differently in another. At the spatial level, communication varies across environments. In more familiar or informal settings, individuals may feel more comfortable expressing themselves, while in formal or high-pressure environments, expression may become more constrained. Even the evaluation of language ability reflects underlying power structures. When complex linguistic and cultural competencies are reduced to standardized test scores such as IELTS, this redefines what counts as valid ability, while overlooking the value of multilingual and intercultural experience.
The conflict is huge. I was raised to do more and talk less, and to stay humble. Every time I go into an interview, I have to summon all my courage just to perform a certain type of confidence. It feels like I'm forced to put on a show.
However, these constraints do not result in complete passivity. Through online communities, student organizations, and personal expression, international students are creating new spaces for communication. They share experiences, develop strategies, and support one another, transforming individual struggles into collective knowledge. This reflects the core idea of positive discourse analysis, that discourse can not only reflect reality, but also reshape it. As a Chinese female international student in Sydney, I have also experienced moments of hesitation and silence. Through this research, I began to understand that these challenges are not simply personal limitations, but are shaped by broader structural conditions. This realization has allowed me to reflect on my own position and to better understand the relationship between language, culture, and power. As individual experiences become shared, silence can turn into expression, and marginal positions can begin to shift. Perhaps the issue has never been that we cannot speak, but which voices are allowed to be heard. Thanks for listening and watching.